Coming up on News Live at 6, Syracuse University celebrates Indigenous Peoples Day. We have team coverage of the events and activities happening on campus and across the city.
Plus, another near-campus shooting turns deadly. We have a new update on last week's shootings.
And I'm here in Boston, Massachusetts, where today Syracuse University Dean of Engineering and Computer Science competed in the Boston Marathon. Stay tuned to find out how he did. Citrus TV News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is Citrus TV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Syracuse University is celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day here on campus. Good evening, I'm Louise Rath.
And I'm Walker Simmons. This comes on the same day Italians in the city celebrate Columbus Day. Gatherings at the same monument Indigenous people have fought to remove. We're bringing you team coverage with all these stories.
And new at 6, the university is keeping a promise made following the Not Again SU protests, constructing a monument and recognizing the Onondaga Nation. Citrus TV's Tyler O'Neill is outside at the Orange Grove with more on today's Indigenous Day events on campus. Tyler?
Guys, behind me is the new Haudenosaunee monument the university built to honor Native American students and the Onondaga Nation. Today, the Native American program gathered here in the Orange Grove to celebrate Indigenous People Day and to raise awareness for issues they face as well as their history. The assistant director of the program, Regina Jones, raised two issues that Native Americans face across the country. One of which is that Native Americans are 10 times more likely to be abducted than any other race. And the second issue she raised is that the Every Child Matters program. Now, this program searched for remains of children at boarding school sites across North America. Even though the campus is on ancestral lands, she says the students still feel underrepresented on campus. Some students say they even feel isolated in their class.
Representation, right? In all of my classes, it's a lot of the time I'm the only Native American student there. So it's definitely a bit nerve-wracking and not always easy to get my voice heard.
On the quad today, the students gathered at a table where they were able to interact with the students in the program. They gave them information, and the students in the program also created posters that were displayed all across the quad. Now, these posters raised awareness for the program, for the issues Native Americans face. I'm Tyler O'Neill, Citrus TV News.
Tyler, thank you. Well, today is also Columbus Day across the country. Here in Syracuse, a statue of Columbus downtown has led to controversy. Some want it to come down while others insist it should stay up. Columbus is credited for starting the mass wave of colonization in the Americas.
Continuing with our team coverage now, Teagan Brown is live at the Columbus Circle to break down the protests happening there. Teagan?
Thank you, Louise. I am here live in front of the Columbus statue in downtown Syracuse. Now, this has been the topic of debate for over a year after just over a year ago, Mayor Ben Walsh announced that this statue would be removed. However, he didn't really give many further details, saying it would be relocated and that the monument to Italian Americans in the area would stay. Now, earlier today, many Italian Americans and those who believe that the statue should stay right here behind me gathered to talk about their thoughts and terms, and I spoke with one of them all about it.
This was an amazingly courageous explorer. He opened these lands to Christianity and ultimately Western civilization, which had already been flowering in Europe.
Now, you'll see behind me that many people are gathering once again. This is the group of people who believe that the statue should be removed, and we're seeing many people start to get here. When we got here just a few moments ago, it was pretty minuscule in terms of gathering. But the Columbus Statue Corporation, just over a year ago, when Ben Walsh made the decision, decided to sue the city of Syracuse. Now, there has not been an outcome for this case yet, but many of these people continue to share their thoughts of why this statue should be removed. When I was here this morning, I could only find one protester who believed that the statue should be removed, and she was here to talk with the people that believed it should stay.
The next 7 generations don't have to grow up in this. I mean, with a lot of other statues in the world, it has a lot of ignorance behind it.
There's still no word on what will happen next with the statue, but the people here are ready to share their thoughts on what should happen next. Reporting live from Columbus Circle in downtown Syracuse, Teagan Brown, Citrus TV News.
Teagan, thank you. Now to the latest on last week's shooting near campus. Both men who were shot in the head on Thursday night have died. Syracuse police say both men were in their 20s. The shootings took place just 2 blocks away from the university's Campus West apartment complex. A shooting the weekend before, just a few blocks away, claimed the life of another man. Syracuse police continue to investigate both shootings.
And SU's physics department is mourning the loss of one of their most accomplished colleagues. Professor Sheldon Stone passed away last Wednesday. Professor Tomasz Savard-Niskinsky worked alongside Stone for 30 years and hopes the department can live up to his legacy.
So Professor Stone had a very large impact on the whole community of international physicists working on this type of physics.
Stone was 75 years old, and he was best known for his work in elementary particle physics, and even confirmed the existence of a new particle in his research.
It continues to be difficult for students to access books at Carnegie Library. The university announced over the weekend the book stacks at the historic library will remain closed.
A release says the university is being forced to make unexpected repairs to the stacks. Students will have to request books through the library to access these materials, and the university says this is being done to protect staff and users.
And now for the latest on COVID numbers on campus. There are currently 47 active COVID-19 cases, an increase of 1 since yesterday. This includes 7 new cases and 6 new employee cases. There is now 1 unvaccinated student in quarantine, and a week ago there were 57 COVID-19 cases on campus.
And across central New York, restaurants are continuing to feel the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. Citrus TV's Nick Zelaya spoke to the employees over at Hyde's in Liverpool to see how they are returning to normalcy.
Liverpool has been serving hot dogs and other foods for over 100 years now, but the coronavirus pandemic was a different challenge. Health guidelines forced the restaurant to make some serious adjustments, such as takeout being the only option, losing a number of employees, and as Jessica Lamariana says, many items as well.
Product, we were constantly, ordering things, and we'd be out of it for 3-4 weeks and then be lucky if we ever got it back.
She adds how the employees lost were really good, and sometimes they wouldn't have the required 5 workers for a shift. Hyde's evolved a takeout method which became crucial to keeping the local spot in business during the pandemic. Xavier Sanchez says curbside pickup was an advantage for customers and the staff members.
When that kind of came in, we really started booming, and it just kind of came up to finding the good pace between how many people we need on compared to how many people are needed to keep the place going.
The restaurant is focused on continuing curbside pickup along with indoor and outdoor seating. Utilizing other forms of currency to have safer transactions is just one of the many reasons Hyde's won't be going anywhere in the near future.
I feel as though it's going to be it'll remain a staple into the community for another 500 years,
Hyde's has been able to recover from the pandemic and become the go-to spot for friends and family to get outside and be together.
Thanks, Nick. Hyde's of Liverpool is open 7 days a week for dine-in, curbside pickup, and delivery from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m.
And now, new details on an SU Dean's run at the Boston Marathon. Engineering and Computer Science Dean J. Cole Smith competed at the nationally broadcast race earlier today. CitrusTV reporter John Perik was live in Boston earlier for the races.
Guys, thank you. It's Marathon Monday again here in the city of Boston. Today marks the 125th installment of the Boston Marathon. And as you can see behind me, there are a few runners just finishing up now. But this morning, Syracuse University's Dean of Engineering and Computer Science competed in the marathon. And he told us back on Friday that it's been a long journey to get to this point. Actually, it's taken him 11 years of hard work and determination to finally qualify for the marathon. And now that he's qualified, he couldn't be more ecstatic.
Running in this in the first place was something that I had been trying to qualify for this race for a long time, and I failed several times. And so to actually be able to have one race that was good enough to have a qualifying time was really exciting. And so
on Friday, Smith also told us that his goal was to finish the Boston Marathon in about 3 hours and 15 to 20 minutes. Well, today he did just that, finishing the marathon in 3 hours, 18 minutes, and 6 seconds. Reporting from the 125th Boston Marathon, I'm John Perik, Citrus TV News.
John, thank you. Well, coming up, the Apple Festival makes its return to Central New York for the first time in nearly 2 years. Find out this year's festivities went.
Plus, get to know the science behind the fall season. Our very own Lindsay Fine is in studio to explain all this and more when we come back.
When they test you, stand firm and move only when you hear the seatbelt click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Maybe he's really focused.
Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
You're watching Citrus TV News with Walker Simmons, Louise Rath, Lindsay Fine, and Teagan Brown. Citrus TV News, your campus news leader.
Welcome back. A popular fall tradition is back in Central New York. The Lafayette Apple Festival made its return this year after a year hiatus. Citrus TV reporter Nicole Aponte was one of the 1,000 attendees who took part in the Apple Festival.
Fall is in full swing here in Central New York, and in between all the foliage is the annual Lafayette Apple Festival. It would have been the 49th year, but because of COVID-19, festival goers celebrated the 48th. They're just happy to be outside.
I just think it's nice to see people are having a good time. They're getting out and they're enjoying themselves.
Getting out, the crafts, walking through the tents, and seeing everybody that you know from around town.
More than 300 crafters were at the festival. Local nonprofits and members of the Lafayette High School community annually volunteer their time to fundraise. Vendors were spread out across the grounds, selling their goods to the thousands who attended. From pony rides to Ferris wheels to live entertainment, there is something for everyone of all ages.
We got some donuts and I got a muffin, and then we had some food and we went in the tent.
Apple-themed foods were at the core of the festival. Ciders, donuts, and pies were just some of the absolutely delicious treats available. But there's one food that raises excitement every single year.
Of course, the apple fritters.
St. Joseph's Parish has been making apple fritters and pies since the start of the festival almost 50 years ago. Jim Heisa from the parish says that even with the planning that went into this year, it's worth it to see people enjoy themselves.
So there's like the work and the challenge and the complexity, but then it turns out that people just love fritters.
With the festival being back in person, Jim's excited to see people taking advantage of everything it has to offer, not just the fritters.
I think everybody they're getting out, they're enjoying themselves, they're seeing a lot of crafts in the tents, they're getting a lot of great food from all the other vendors, they're getting a lot of apples and a lot of apple pie, so you can't knock that.
Central New Yorkers were able to leave the festival with a slice of appreciation for their community.
To end my day at the Lafayette Apple Festival, I am going to try the apple fritters that St. Joseph's is known for. Now, these are a fan favorite. You can see right behind me, this line is super long. So let's see if this is true, if it is an amazing apple fritter. And I think it's going to be right. Let's see. It's just that good. Reporting from the Lafayette Apple Festival, Nicole Aponte, CitrusTV News.
Nicole, thank you. Now, fall activities may be in full swing, but fall weather hasn't come around just yet. Here with why and if the warm weather will stick around is our Citrus TV weather anchor, Lindsay Fine. Lindsay?
Yeah, we still have more summer weather on the way. Looking at the map behind me, you can see temperatures are much hotter than usual for this time of year. About a week after the fall equinox, the U.S. enjoyed cool and crisp fall weather, but now the eastern United States is seeing some summer-like temperatures. In some areas, it will be as hot as 30 degrees above normal. What's really notable about this weather isn't necessarily the heat, it's the humidity. There are high levels of moisture in the air, and the heat sticking around are delaying the fall foliage. If you look outside your window, you'll notice some leaves are changing color, but definitely not as many as you would expect for this time of year. You can also see that on this map behind me from iHeart New York. You can see we're still kind of in the almost changing to sort of changing levels, and this time last year we were more towards the near peak. So we're again seeing those weather and those trees changing a little bit less. Another consequence of summer weather sticking around is a pumpkin shortage. That is right. The weather, combined with shipping issues lingering from the pandemic, is causing a shortage of pumpkins. This summer-like weather is expected to stick around until the next week or so. Guys, back to you. Actually, before we get back to you, when we return after the break, your 5-day forecast.
Foster care. I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I already knew that I was going to go to college, from a young age. I definitely want to major in political science, become the mayor or something, make the situation better for other people. My name is Justin, and I am your dividend.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the Citrus TV Newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at Citrus TV News, your campus news leader.
Scroll down, Ella. Welcome back to Citrus TV News Live at 6. If you saw more prospective students and families on campus today, that's because it's the first day of Orange Previews. These days serve as an open house for SU, and the next Orange Preview Day is November 5th.
The day comes right after SU's Family Weekend. Many students saw their parents for the first time since they got to campus, and there were a number of events across campus families could attend together, including the SU football game.
It's just parents' weekend, and my friends' parents are here, so they're cooking out over there. But yeah, no, it's pretty cool.
Opportunities for families to meet with the deans and administrators.
And Syracuse University is set to welcome a key administrator tomorrow. Provost Gretchen Ritter's rescheduled welcome event is taking place at 10:15 tomorrow morning. The celebration for Ritter will be held in the Eileen and David Flaum Grand Hall in the Whitman School of Management. SU is also live streaming the ceremony.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Thanks, guys. Now let's take a look at your weather right now. Right now outside it's 72 degrees and partly cloudy with no chance of rain, which is so exciting that rain really is clearing up. We saw that a lot last week, but now it's really clear skies. Again, some clouds, but no rain. Really great weather. I know I was really enjoying walking around today. That humidity was still there, but it was much cooler than last week, and the rain was nice that there wasn't any, I guess. And looking into tonight, it will drop about 9 degrees to 63 degrees. It will stay mostly clear with little rain and no wind. So if there was any night to keep your window open and really enjoy that cool air, it would be tonight. Looking into tomorrow, it will be 62 degrees at 9 a.m. when you wake up. Then it'll rise to 77 at 3 p.m. and then drop again to 73. The clouds will clear throughout the day. Again, just following that trend of the rain going away as well as the clouds. A nice warm fall day. And looking at your 5-day forecast, we can see the high of the week comes tomorrow at 79 degrees, and the low of the week comes on Saturday at 53 degrees. Again, that temperature is steadily dropping throughout the week. You can also see on Friday our game against Clemson. Let's go, so exciting. Some really nice weather. Again, AM clouds, some PM sun, beautiful tailgating weather. That's all we have right now with your weather. Now over to Jesse in sports.
Well, we've got games all around the hill, so stay tuned for sports after the break.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where did cats go on vacation? New York.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid.
A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close.
I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us.
But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words.
These are not my words.
These are not my words.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
Syracuse football welcomed an undefeated Wake Forest program into the Dome on Saturday. Welcome to sports. I'm Jesse Cook. Now, it's the Orange following a loss to a winless Florida State and the top team in the ACC, Wake Forest, undefeated, as I said. A rushing juggernaut, the Syracuse offense showed out early. Sean Tucker gets the scoring started with a run. But Sam Hartman, maybe the best quarterback in college football right now, he hurls it 46 yards downfield to A.T. Perry, and a couple moves at the end, breaking some bodies, gets through, and they're not finished. Better stop calling him A.T. and start calling him T.D. Perry, 69 yards on the play with a juke breaking ankles at the end. A.T. Perry into the end zone. He'd have a few touchdowns on the day. But Syracuse, they're coming right back. Hand off Sean Tucker. You know his name. You know he's in the end zone. Sean Tucker high stepping in. Now 20 seconds left. The Orange down by a touchdown. Garrett Schrader on the screen pass. To who do you think? Sean Tucker bowls his way into the end zone, sends it to overtime. But Sam Hartman just tossed a candidate for the catch of the year. And you can see me back in the fourth row, disappointed as I could be about that. So Wake Forest, they take the win, 40-37. So I mentioned the illustrator of Irving Avenue, Sean Tucker, a few times there, but don't let his day overshadow Garrett Schrader's almost 200 yards of rushing. 499 yards on offense for the Cuse. That's total. The defense faced struggles as well, though. Dino Babers voiced his praise for the squad.
Bring Chris back. We can't guarantee that. We had some young guys in there playing against some real stout cats, and they did okay. And it was one of those games. If you'd have told me that.
They'll battle the floundering Clemson Tigers on Friday night. Now, from the gridiron to the pitch, following a loss at Florida State, the #1 program in the country, might I add, Syracuse women's soccer took on Virginia, the #2 program in the country. And when the teams broke for halftime, the Orange had a lot to cheer about. They'd been sending shots on goal, and keeper Lizzie-Ann Prue had made spectacular diving saves. But 15 minutes in, the second half changed all of that. A header, redirection, laser from the middle, shot from the box, and yet another tally after that flipped the script. 5-0, the Who's come out on top. SU takes on Pitt Saturday night. And while soccer battled at the SU Soccer Stadium, further up the road, field hockey notched their 8th straight victory. They took down Colgate 3-0 with goals from Claire Cook, Laura Graziosi, and Clara Morrison. The Fiery Orange moved to 10-2, and they're playing again on Saturday. They'll take on Duke on the road, but again, they had an insane output, but that'll do it for sports right now.
What are you, superheroes?
Just 4 brothers who hate bullies and love this city. Gear up, guys.
Welcome back, everybody. Now let's take a look at our wake up forecast. Tomorrow when you wake up and leave your dorm, it should be about 62 degrees, partly cloudy and 5-mile-per-hour winds. Gorgeous weather. Honestly, couldn't be asking for any better weather. I know I'm definitely excited for that walk to class tomorrow.
Yeah, Lindsay, 62 in October. That's great to hear. Well, we've got some McNews for you today. McDonald's is offering a thank you meal to American educators starting today. Teachers, staff, and administrators can score a free breakfast at any McDonald's location through October 15th. A valid work ID must be presented for a choice of 1 entree, hash browns, and a beverage.
Restaurants started appreciation meals last spring during the coronavirus pandemic, thanking essential workers. And to thank a teacher now through the end of the week, McDonald's is encouraging fans to use the hashtag #ThankYouMeal on Twitter, TikTok, or Instagram. And that's all the time we have today on Citrus TV News Live at 6.
Yeah, and for more of the latest, you can follow us on Citrus TV News on Twitter or check out our website at citrustv.com. We have everything from a tap on our Instagram that covers current news throughout campus, as well as our Twitter, like I mentioned. A lot of news to stay up to date with everything that we miss here and there.
Yeah, and for all of us here at Citrus TV News, I'm Louise Rath.
And I'm Walker Simmons. Have a fantastic night, Syracuse.